Hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome to another video. I'm so excited to share this video with you. I do this video every year and it's basically my top however many food items that either help me lose weight, help me maintain. A lot of you know that last year I put my app in maintain, just was kind of working on some personal things with myself. So these are just some items that I've used on my weight loss journey that are basically not, I wouldn't really say they help me lose weight, but they're low point options. I follow the Weight Watchers program, so I'll be sharing the Weight Watcher points with you. And also on my channel, I share calories as well. So I'll be sharing Weight Watcher points and calories for these food products. I'm not gonna start the video like I did last year. Last year I started the video and showed pretty much all the food items that are things that I really focus on. So I focus mostly on whole foods. I do follow the 80-20 rule, so 80% of what I eat is whole foods, fish, eggs, lean poultry, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, all that stuff. I really focus on that and I build my meals around that. That is basically the base of my meals and then I build around it. But then 20% of the time falls into the other category. So I do want to put it out there that if you are a 100% clean eater, this is probably not going to be a video for you. These food items, while some of them are what you would call healthy, some of them are more processed, canned, things like that. So they're more like convenience. For example, soup and pasta sauce. I love making my own soups. I love making my own pasta sauce and then freezing it. But there are times where I don't have it made and I may need to use canned or jars. But also the other thing, there are some people who never make their own and they prefer to use canned or jars. So I'm not doing this video to tell you that these are the things that you should or shouldn't be eating. That is not, I'm not judging here. This is just showing you some different food options that are there that may help you along the way. So I've got a lot to share with you today, so let's jump right into the video. Start with some of the cold items that I have. First of all is cottage cheese. Now there are two different kinds of cottage cheese, and the fat-free cottage cheese is honestly one that I have never liked. I've never cared for fat-free cottage cheese. But when Weight Watchers started having this be 0 points, I decided to at least start using it in recipes. So I'll add it into eggs, or if there's like a pasta recipe that calls for ricotta, I might add it to that, just to give it a little bit more protein. So for the fat-free cottage cheese, it's 0 points on Weight Watchers unless you're on the diabetic program. If you're on the diabetic program, then there are points to it. And for calories, it's 70 calories for half a cup. So that's what I add into recipes. I'll make up some scrambled eggs and just add maybe a 1/4 cup of cottage cheese to the eggs and stir it up just to add some extra protein. But this one is my favorite cottage cheese for eating. This is Good Culture cottage cheese. It's low fat. The whole milk is good as well. I honestly like the flavor of the low fat better. So for this one, it's 2 points and 120 calories, but there are 19 grams of protein in this. So you're getting quite a bit of protein. This one for protein has 12 grams for half a cup. But 19 grams of protein, 2 points on Weight Watchers. If you get the full fat milk kind, it's 5 points, and I can't recall how many calories it is. But this cottage cheese is by far the best cottage cheese I have ever had. It is so creamy. The curds are really small. It's just really good. Next up is non-fat Greek yogurt. This is 0 points on Weight Watchers. And if you're counting calories, the calories on this are 90 calories for 3/4 of a cup. This kind I get from Aldi. I prefer the Fage brand. It's spelled F-A-G-E. It looks like phage, but it's actually pronounced Fage. That brand to me doesn't have that real tart flavor. I'm actually not a huge fan of non-fat Greek yogurt. A lot of people say that they use it in place of sour cream. For me, there's no comparison for me, so I choose to just use like some light sour cream. But this is great to make like 2-ingredient dough. You can make bagels. I make strombolis with 2-ingredient dough. You can make homemade pizzas. Also, this is great to add protein to smoothies. So if I'm ever making a smoothie, whether it be a fruit smoothie or whatever, I will always add in some of this for the protein. Next up, staying along the lines of protein, is protein yogurt. I get this kind from Aldi. This is really good, and it's only 1 point for the container, if I can get the container out. So So these are protein yogurts that I get from Aldi. These are only 1 point for this container. I want to say they used to be 2 on the old Weight Watchers program. This is the mixed berry kind. I think they have one other flavor as well, maybe vanilla. But only 1 point and 100 calories. I'll either get this, or if I don't go to Aldi, then I get the Dannon Light and Fit strawberry cheesecake flavor. That is so good. I want to say that kind is 2 points though. But this one is only 1 point, 100 calories, and 15 grams of protein in this whole container. Along the same lines of yogurt, this is a new find for me, and you'll see I wrote a 2 on here. That's because when I scanned this into the Weight Watchers app, it scanned out as 2, but when I got looking, it gave the wrong nutrition facts. So it was saying that it was 90 calories when in fact this is actually only 80. So when I did a search for this particular product, then it told me it was 1 point. So these are 1 point. And they are so good. It almost reminds me of the banana baby food. I'm going way back. My kids now are 31 and 26, and I remember the banana baby food that I used to feed them. This kind of reminds me of that. So this is Dannon Light and Fit protein strawberry banana. For these, they're 1 point, they're only 80 calories, and there's 10 grams of protein in them. They have no added sugars, and they have 5 grams of dietary fiber. I like these for just a quick pick-me-up in the afternoon. They're really good. And I know they have different flavors too, but I can't remember what other flavors they have. Next up is feta cheese. And let me tell you, this feta is the best flavor I've ever had. This kind I get from Aldi, and it's very low in points. It's only 2 points per ounce and 60 calories. I like to get it in the block like this and just kind of break it up. This is excellent, honestly, in anything, in eggs, in salads, whatever you want to add cheese to, add a little bit of feta on pizzas, anything. This is really good. Then they also have fat-free feta crumbles. They have this kind, and they have the I think it's Mediterranean, basil Mediterranean or something like that. And these are really good too. For these, if you have anything less than 1 ounce, it's 0. So I'll usually add like a ½ ounce of these into my eggs for 0 points, and it adds in some extra protein. So for this, for 1 ounce is 6 grams of protein. So that's good. For this one, the protein is 5 grams. So feta cheese is pretty much something I always have in my fridge. Next up for cheese is a Laughing Cow cheese. These are Laughing Cow cheese wedges. So these are great, honestly, for anything. I like to just use a wedge. I've actually just eaten them plain. I like to eat a wedge like with the Snack Factory pretzel crisps, just kind of dip those. But I also will use them on a wrap, spread it on a wrap in place of mayonnaise. I've used this in place of mayonnaise more times than I can count. Especially like on a turkey wrap, put it right down on the wrap and then use it that way. Or you can use it in recipes in place of cream cheese. If something calls for cream cheese, you could use this in place of that as well. I actually made a long time ago, this was a long time ago, I'll probably have to see if I can find the recipe, but I made kind of like a skinny Alfredo sauce, and I used this for it. So these are 1 point per wedge, and this particular kind, which is the garlic herb, is only 30 calories per wedge. I think it's Swiss Light, and some of the lights come out at 1 point for 1 wedge, but then when you have 2, it becomes 3 points. Weight Watchers has that funny math. So this particular kind, you can have 2 of them for 2 points. But the ones that say they're 35 calories, I think those are the ones that usually come out to 3 points for 2 of them. Next up is hummus. My husband likes dipping cheese in hummus. He also likes dipping, honestly, any kind of chips or crackers or anything. I like hummus for carrots. I love carrots. I eat carrots pretty much almost every day. Not quite every day, but almost every day. And I love dipping my carrots in hummus. So I have the garlic hummus from Aldi. That is really good. And this kind is 2 points for 2 tablespoons. And calories on this is 70 calories for 2 tablespoons. And then I get this kind from Walmart. This is the olive tapenade hummus. And the garlic kind from Walmart is good as well. So these ones you have to actually stir. Like this comes with the olives on top. You have to stir it in. And if you get the garlic one, you have to stir the garlic in there. These ones are already stirred in. But for this one, you can have 2 tablespoons for just 1 point. And the calories on this one are 60 calories for 2 tablespoons. All right, next I have a couple meats. So I'm not sharing like turkey breast that I usually have for sandwich meat. Aldi has amazing oven roasted turkey breast that I usually get. These are just some things that I don't necessarily use every day, but just some things to show you. So these here are Simms snack sticks. They're turkey sausage, and these are really good. You get them at Aldi, and you can have 1 stick for 1 point or 2 of them for 3 points. So I honestly don't buy these too often. Usually when I find myself buying these is when I am grocery shopping at Aldi and I'm really hungry. I will tend to pick these up just to snack on a couple of them on the way home to prevent myself from overeating when I get home. So that's usually when I have those. Turkey pepperoni I pretty much always have in my house. I like to use this sometimes on sandwiches, but mostly for pizzas, strombolis, that type of thing. This is 70 calories for 17 slices, but with turkey pepperoni, I'm going to scan it real quick. But with turkey pepperoni for the points, it obviously with anything, it depends on the brand. This Hormel turkey pepperoni, when you scan it, it says it's 2 points for 17 slices. But if you toggle this, you'll see that you can actually have 20 slices for 2 points. But usually what I do is find what I can have for 1 point. I think it's 12. Yeah, 12 of them for 1 point. So that's usually what I've been using on my pizzas. I'll make a homemade pizza and I'll just put 12 slices on there. That way it's just 1 point. Next we have Appleton Farms biscuit ham slices. These I get from Aldi. They're kind of the equivalent of like Canadian bacon that I would get at Walmart or Sam's Club. For these you can have 2 ounces for 1 point, and the calories on them are 60 calories. And I believe that's the same for the Canadian bacon. I'm not sure about the points, but I'm pretty sure the Canadian bacon is 1 point for 2 ounces as well. Next up is just something that I love having in my house, and that is pickles. I love the baby holes. I actually did a recipe for air fried pickles in a recent video. Those were so good. But pickles are just something I like to have. I try not to have a whole lot just because of the high sodium in them. But if I'm craving something crunchy at night, sometimes a pickle does the trick. All right, now we're up to salad dressings. So for Italian dressing, this is my favorite, which I have to buy more of. Olive Garden light Italian dressing is my absolute favorite. This just goes so good on so many things, whether it's a salad or a lot of times I'll take some mini cucumbers and just dice them up. I'll put some of this in there, and that's pretty much like our side, you know, for a vegetable at night. It is so good with that. For this, you can have 2 tablespoons for 1 point, and the calories are 30 calories for 2 tablespoons. And then these dressings are Bolthouse Farms, and these are new to me this year. I didn't have these on the last 2 videos that I did like this. I have Classic Ranch and Creamy Caesar. I'm not a fan of the light or fat-free ranch or Caesar at all. These are yogurt dressings and they are really good. So for these, it's 1 point per tablespoon, and then for calories, it's 50 calories for 2 tablespoons. Next up is some orange juice. This is my husband's favorite kind of juice. This is 50 calorie orange juice. It's 50% less sugar, which the real reason is because it's basically like watered down juice, but my husband loves this kind, so that's what we get. For this, you can have 1 cup for obviously 50 calories or 2 points, and you can actually have 6 ounces of it for 1 point. Next up is a new find for me. And these are chicken egg rolls, and let me tell you, these are really good. They are only 3 points, and the calories on them are 110 calories. And let me show you the size. It comes with 3 in a box. I've actually had one, but look at the size of these for 3 points. Those are actually really good dipped in that yogurt dressing. So 3 points or 110 calories for those. Okay, next I have an empty box because these are gone. These are amazing. So let me tell you, my husband is a chocoholic. He absolutely loves chocolate, anything chocolate. If we get ice cream, if we get cookies, it's always chocolate that he wants, except when it comes to these. He absolutely loves the sea salt caramel. These are only 3 points and 80 calories. This is the Enlightened brand. Now I did find some Yasso, but these ones are 100 calories. These ones are 5 points. Yasso has these, and then I also got the fudge brownie, but these both scanned at 5 points, which still isn't bad. But they do have Yasso, I think it's just regular Yasso chocolate fudge. That's the 80 calories, and those ones are 3 points like these enlightened ones. So those are our favorite, is these enlightened or the Yasso chocolate fudge that are both 3 points and 80 calories. Next up is Kodiak Power Cakes. I love these. These are what I make my pancake bakes with. And for this kind, I just like them because they have extra protein in them. It's 14 grams of protein for a half a cup of the mix. These are 4 points for half a cup of dry and 190 calories. Something I pretty much just always show in each of these videos is chia seeds. Chia seeds are great. They're a great source of fiber. I like to add these to my overnight oats. I like to add them to my salads, just sprinkle a few on there. 60 calories for a tablespoon or 1 point, but you can just have a half a tablespoon for 0 if you wanted. For those of you who are watching your salt intake, this was a good find. This is everything but the salt. So I love the everything bagel seasoning, but some of them are really overly salty tasting to me. So I found this salt-free dash, everything but the salt, and this is really good. It's definitely not as salty tasting as the other. So just wanted to give that a mention. All right, so now we have pudding. So you can get the sugar-free, fat-free chocolate pudding, the box. This kind I get from Aldi, and this is 1 point for the entire box, so if you want to make something with that. And then they also have the snack pack sugar-free chocolate pudding. These ones are 3 points for a cup. I love to mix these with some PB2 and some like Ready Whip or Cool Whip. You can kind of make like a mousse out of it. Put in some crumbled graham crackers. There's so many things that you can do. Also with PB2, something I like doing with these is just taking some apples, and you just cut the apples up, and I just put them in a bag or a container, sprinkle on some PB2. I don't mix it with water. Most of the time when I use this, I'm not using it as peanut butter, like mixed with water. I'm just using it in the powder form. So for the apples, I just sprinkle it on the apples, shake the apples up, and it's so good. You just take like a toothpick and can eat the apples that way. It's really good. My friend Carrie taught me that. So the PB2 is 2 tablespoons for 1 point or 60 calories. A couple other things you can do with PB2 is really mix it in anything that you want to have kind of like a peanut butter flavor. I like to put it in smoothies. I make chocolate chip peanut butter overnight oats, and this is what I use for the peanut butter flavor for that. Just a whole bunch of things that you can do. Anything you want the peanut butter flavor to, you can use this. I have tried mixing it with water and making it like an actual peanut butter, which is what it's supposed to be made for. It's a powdered peanut butter. I just prefer the flavor of regular peanut butter. If I'm going to have, like, say, a peanut butter sandwich, I'm going to use regular peanut butter and take the points for it. Next up are rice cakes. Rice cakes I do like to have on hand. I don't like them plain, and honestly I bought these once before and I thought they tasted like cardboard, so I swore I'd never buy them again. But there are some things that you can do with these, and one of the things you can do is make what they call little like frozen peanut butter cups. You just put some peanut butter on the bottom and you dip it in chocolate or use some sugar-free chocolate syrup over the top and just spread it and then put it in the freezer, and they are so good. So these are 1 point per rice cake or 35 calories. Next up is protein powder. I like the chocolate Premier Protein. For this kind, it's 2 points for 2 scoops and 150 calories, and there's 30 grams of protein. Honestly, I like to just mix this and make it for what it is, just as a shake. I usually mix it with unsweetened almond milk, and that's it. But I will use it like in recipes too if I want to add a little bit of chocolate. I've done it in overnight oats before to add a little protein, so you can add it to a bunch of things. For pasta sauces, this is a new one for me. I got this at Aldi just recently, and this is so good. I love it. So I prefer to do my own pasta sauce. I love just making my own pasta sauce using a bunch of different vegetables, but this is something I will have in my pantry just for when we need it. And this is really good, and it's only 1 point for half a cup and 50 calories. Something we always have in our pantry is some canned chicken and canned tuna. These are just great sources of protein. I actually like the chicken breast in salads, or you can use this for anything. I've made like buffalo chicken dip with it, lots of different things. I've mentioned in my grocery haul video, when I get this kind, I prefer it to say premium chunk. If it doesn't say premium I don't know, I just notice a difference in the flavor and the texture of it. So I always get the one that says premium. So for this one, it's 15 grams of protein for each serving and 80 calories. And that's for a 3-ounce serving. And it's 0 points on Weight Watchers. And then tuna is also 0 points on Weight Watchers. This is the skipjack. This kind I get from Aldi. And then if I don't go to Aldi, I'll get the Starkist, just personal choice. And for these, the Starkist is 90 calories. The skipjack tuna is 110, and that is for the entire can. Protein on these, 25 grams for the Aldi kind and 20 grams for the Starkist. Next up is Ray's no sugar added barbecue sauce. This is 0 points and 15 calories for 2 tablespoons. And this is pretty good. It's not, to me, it's not as good as regular barbecue sauce, but definitely an alternative. Regular barbecue sauce is really high in points, really high in sugar, so this is definitely a great alternative. They also have different kinds. I can't remember what kinds, but the hickory is not the only one they have. Also, another brand that's really good is G. Hughes. In fact, their honey mustard, 0 sugar honey mustard, is really good, the G. Hughes brand. Okay, next up is Banza pasta. For this kind, this is actually made from chickpeas, and it's really good. It doesn't have, I don't think this kind is like, some of them are really almost like gummy. This kind I don't think is like that. I really like this kind. And it's 4 points for a 2-ounce portion or 190 calories. And also this has some protein in it, so for 1 serving is 11 grams of protein. Just something to mention, if I don't have time to make rice, I like to have these in my pantry. This long grain and wild rice is 3 points for a 1/2 cup, and calories is 200 for a cup. And then they have this quinoa and brown rice. I am not a huge fan of quinoa. I try to like it because I know it's really good for you, but I'm just not a huge fan. But I do like this mixed together. I like to have it and put like salmon over top of it. That's really good. This is also 3 points for a 1/2 cup and 250 calories for a cup. If you don't have time to make your own hash browns out of whole potatoes, this is a great alternative. I get these from Aldi. For these, you can have 2 points for 2/3 of a cup. They are shredded hash brown potatoes. For calories, it's 90 calories for 2/3 of a cup. These work really good. If you have one of those mini dash waffle makers, these are great to make like hash waffles. They work perfect. Something I just like to have in my fridge is canned potatoes. You can make these a whole bunch of ways. You can saute them up in a pan like breakfast potatoes. You can roast them in the oven, however you want. The whole ones I actually like to roast in the oven. I like to just season them with a little bit of seasonings and then just put some olive oil or avocado oil on them. They're really good. For these, it's kind of hard to figure the points. It's 2 points for 2/3 of a cup. But it's kind of hard because they're whole potatoes. They say it's the equivalent of like 2 of the potatoes. And the calories on this is 60 calories per serving, or the entire container for 160 calories. And things like this that are canned, I will usually rinse them. So I'll just rinse them real good. And to me, it does get some of the sodium off of them. Now with soups, you're going to have sodium in soups. I love making soups, honestly, but Progresso is a great soup to just keep on hand for if you want something quick and you don't have soup made. This kind, they have all sorts of kinds. The Progresso Light is usually the ones that are less in points. For the beef pot roast, 150 calories per can, 2 points for a cup or 3 points for 2 cups, which really is pretty much the entire can. The savory vegetable barley, 1 point for 1 cup, 3 points for 2, 130 calories per can. So I think it's pretty much 2 servings per container. Chicken noodle, light chicken noodle, 1 for 1, 3 points for 2. And then they have the split pea. This is the one that is not the light, but this one comes out to, I think it's 2 points for the entire can. Let me scan this one. So this one comes out to 2 points. So it's 1 point for 1 cup or 2 points for the entire can. This is our favorite kind of soup. So just some soup alternatives to have if you haven't made your own. I honestly love making my own and then just freezing a bunch of it. Here's another new one that I just bought this for the first time last week. Avocado chunks. I like regular avocado, but I do find that sometimes I waste them. I even have an avocado food hugger that is supposed to prevent it from going bad, but doesn't always work. These are perfect. These are great. I tried them. I like them for avocado toast. I just take a few of them out and let it thaw, and then I can use it for my avocado toast. But a lot of people have said that they work great in smoothies. So these are just something I wanted to share. 3 points for half a cup of these, 190 calories for 3/4 of a cup. Another item that I found for those of you who are like me who love roasted vegetables, but maybe you don't have time to cut everything up and get them roasted for dinner, this is an alternative. I got these at Aldi. They are ready to roast Mediterranean vegetables. 0 points and 60 calories for 4 ounces. Here's one we don't have too often, but this is roasted turkey Heinz homestyle gravy, and this is really low in points. You can have a 1/4 cup for 1 point or 25 calories for a 1/4 cup. All right, for sweeteners, I typically like to use monk fruit sweetener. It is much better on my gut. So I have classic, I have golden, and then Splenda also has a monk fruit sweetener. This is pretty good. I've been using this in my coffee lately. For sugar-free syrup, Lakanto has a sugar-free syrup. I don't have any left. I usually order it from Amazon, but I wanted to mention that sugar-free, like maple syrup, is really good from Lakanto. It's a little bit thinner than most syrups, but it's really good. And I saw my vanilla extract in the cabinet, and it made me realize that I forgot to get some of the extract, because something I like to show in each of these videos is the cake batter extract. If you have not tried cake batter extract, you need to try it. I love using it in like my pancake bakes. It's so good. I usually get mine at Walmart, but if you can't find it at your Walmart, Amazon does have it as well. Okay, now we're up to breads. So typically for bread, I like to use the 40-calorie bread from Aldi. It's 1 point for 1 slice and 2 points for 2 slices. But I honestly don't eat bread too often. I really like to have like wraps and things like that. So I have Olay Extreme Wellness Wraps. For these, it's 1 point for each wrap or 50 calories. And you can see they're a pretty good size wrap. Honestly, any of this stuff is good for anything. I like them for breakfast. I like them for lunch wraps. There's so much you can do with them. Then there's also these Smart Carb pockets. These are 1 point each and 90 calories. And let me show you the size of these. These ones I get at Publix. I'm not sure if they sell them anywhere else. But these are, they're this size. And then they're just little pockets. But then also for 1 point, Joseph's makes pita bread. These are flax, oat bran, and whole wheat. And these are 1 point each, and calories are 60 calories. So these are actually a little bit lower than the Smart Carb ones. Let me show you the size. I actually cut a half of one. My husband used half of one for a sandwich. But you can cut them. They are thin, so you do have to be careful when you're stuffing things in there. But they're also great to make for like homemade pizzas as well. Just leave it like this and use it to make a homemade pizza. 1 point. And Joseph's also makes these lavash bread. These are great to make for like pizza flatbreads. For one of them is 3 points, but honestly, one of them is huge. I don't think I've ever eaten a whole one. So usually we'll do like flatbreads and we'll cut it in half. And for half of it, it's only 1 point. And for calories is 60 calories for half a flatbread. And then the last one I have for bread is these protein wraps. These I get from Aldi, and they're probably about the same size as the Olay Extreme Wellness Wraps. So these ones are 2 points. They have 120 calories and 12 grams of protein in each one. So that is what I wanted to show you for the breads. So I just have maybe 3 things left here. Something that's 0 points that I love to use for tons of different things is Tostitos salsa. Actually, any kind of salsa. And you can make your own kind of salsa, but just something to keep in your pantry for if you don't have your own salsa. But for this, 0 points, 10 calories for 2 tablespoons. And this is just great for anything. I like to dip pretzels in it. I like to put this on my eggs. You can use this in tons of different things. Next up, Lily's white chocolate chips. These are so good. These are actually really good even to snack on. So these are made with stevia. I am not a fan of like the aftertaste of stevia, but with the white chocolate chips, you can't really taste them as much. They do have, Lily's has some semi-sweet that I think are a little bit less in points. For these ones, you can have 17 chocolate chips for 1 point or 29 chocolate chips for 2. And the calories on these are 50 calories for about 30 chips. So these are great. I like to top my overnight oats with these. I like to use these in my pancake bakes. And let me show you the size of the chocolate chips. So they're just pretty much normal size chocolate chips. They're definitely not like the real minis, but these are really good. So I did just check on the Lily's semi-sweet. So for those, you can have 21 for 1 point, and I think it was 35 for 2. Yeah, 35 for 2. So just a little bit difference. And then we have popcorn. And for those of you who are not on the diabetic plan, popcorn is now 0 on Weight Watchers as long as you do the air popped popcorn. So I've been getting the white popcorn. I used to get yellow until I found out that the white has like less hull on it, so it's easier to digest. So I do enjoy the white popcorn better. So for the calories on this, it's 20 calories per 1 cup air pop. So that's what I use for popcorn, and then I like to sprinkle this white cheddar popcorn seasoning on it. This is Kernel Seasons. They have a whole bunch of different flavors. So usually I'll just spray a little bit of like spray butter on the popcorn just so that this will stick to it. And then that is my 0 point snack that I have at night sometimes. And just because I know I'm gonna get asked, I don't have an air popper. I use this glass popcorn popper. It goes in the microwave. You just put your kernels in the top, dump them in there, and put it in the microwave. I love it. So I will link this down in the description box below, and also some of the items that I talked about. For example, the PB2, I know Amazon sells that. The cake batter extract that I didn't have to show you, I know Amazon. So I'll try to link some of the items down in the description box below. So let everyone know in the comments if there's something I haven't shown that is a low point staple of yours that you'd like to share. As always, I appreciate the thumbs up on my videos, and if you're new, I would love for you to be part of the family. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.